Hey, welcome to my day 2 video on all of my build updates from my martial artist monk. I've been trying to optimize for pretty much build simplicity here. There's a lot of things that I could be doing to add a lot more damage that I'll probably look into soon, but I kind of wanted just to keep doing what was working, which was spinning with Whirling Assault into Tempest Bell for a single target DPS. So keeping this mostly a 2-button build, I have kind of streamlined using Killing Palm and Charge Staff here so that we can get a little bit of extra DPS, especially now that I'm hitting tier 15 maps. Without it, the build is a little bit lacking on damage. I hope to kind of make it up through other ways, and I definitely plan to get automated charge generation on the gloves in the future. That way we don't even have to work with Killing Palm. You can just press Charge Staff and then that will run for, like 20 seconds. So you just got to press that once to kind of keep this buff up. But I'll go over what I've made changes to. So if we just look at character stats, I have gone the build to have basically max all res and definitely missing chaos res. It's a premium stat. Going to be working on that in the near future. And we are working with 145 spirit and just a general smattering of strength and intelligence with the focus on dex. All of these stats are pretty required, so don't skimp out on like strength and intelligence, for example. You'll definitely need that, and you'll need a lot of attributes just in general on your gear for this build. In terms of evasion, we're sitting at 48% and a little bit over 2000 energy shield. So let's go over the changes to the skills. Essentially, we have damage supports on Hollow Focus and Hollow Resonance with a bit of utility to get them to proc more often. And here for Hollow Resonance, we just want that to be able to proc more often, and then we're just adding some damage and utility. For Whirling Assault, I have this perfected jeweled. We're sitting at about 9000 DPS without any rage. So we have area of effect, pinpoint critical just for more crit chance. So right now I have that sitting at 53%. Heavy swing, since we're mostly doing physical damage, and lightning attunement here to kind of just add a little bit more chance to shock. We are also using rage 3, so just to generate some more rage on hit here. You can maybe think about replacing this with rage on hit on your passive jewels, but they're usually like 1, so it builds up quite slowly. You can definitely keep it up very easily. It just takes a long time to build, so that can definitely make it a lot slower to kill bosses, for example. For Tempest Bell, I'm using Magnified Area, Close Combat, Lightning Attunement, as well as Heavy Swing. All these gems are stuff that I'm currently testing and will continue to change. So if you want to see the latest changes, check out my poe.ninja to just kind of grab whatever I'm running right at the moment. I have Charge Staff and Killing Palm here. So Killing Palm, we're basically just going to be using that on the bells that show up from Hollow Focus. So it's pretty easy to generate it and that generate those charges. Definitely do this before like a boss, usually when they're monologuing or getting set up. It's basically free damage. But I have Thrill to Kill here, Charge Perfusion, and Empowered Sparks. For Charge Staff, I'm running Prolonged Duration, Blazing Critical, and Innervate. For the Spirit Gems, I'm currently testing out Trinity since we're pretty much doing all 3 elementals, doing Cold, Lightning, and getting the Fire from Charge Staff. This seemed like a pretty good way to just scale that damage a little higher to kind of get those elemental ailments to proc. I'm still testing this one out, so this one's kind of work in progress, and I'm still just using Ghost Dance. I've turned off Wind Dancer just because I didn't have enough spirit for it. If you do, I would definitely have that as well. Otherwise, with if we're not using Trinity, then I was just using the Heralds yesterday, so that was just kind of a easy replacement. In terms of gear, running a melee skilled quarterstaff with decent physical damage as well as a pretty good roll of crit chance. So crit chance is, I'm pretty sure, a guaranteed roll that you can just throw on a what's called an essence to get that crit chance line on there. So if you have a +4 melee skills, then you can usually just throw this on and desecrate the last line and just kind of like pray and hope you get physical damage here. So there's definitely a lot more to be desired on this quarterstaff, but it's not bad for what it is. I'm still running Thrill Steel. I've applied the runic ward to it because armor isn't really applicable to this. So this is allowing me to get up to what we are 55 movement speed. So we're pretty quick. If we're not using Thrill Steel, then I will think about getting basically crit chance on the helmet as well as just getting the stats elsewhere. For the amulets, just running +2 melee skills for now, and just honestly whatever relevant stats you can get on this. Attributes is a really good one, and elemental res is also really good. For the body piece, I have spirit on this, as well as just some resistances and decent evasion and energy shield. For the rings, I am using ingenuity so that we can get utilize more of the rings here, because other belts are just pretty bad still. For the left ring, I'm using this iron ring for basically increased physical damage, as well as physical attack damage leech as mana. That's a pretty important line here so that we have decent mana sustain, and then I just have some rarity on this thing. For my right ring, getting a little bit of damage, some evasion, and basically just a bunch of resistances. So this is just a res stick for now. I'll definitely switch off of this in the future, but currently it's getting my resistances fixed, so big fan of that. For my boots, honestly just any generic movement speed boot with some resistance on it will be pretty good, and if you can get some evasion on that, that will also be pretty good. Definitely see that I did not finish qualitying this thing, so definitely can get a couple more stats squeezed out of this piece. My runes, I'm actually running cold resistance on these two, and just iron runes on my other pieces. For my gloves, this one's pretty important. So these are what the stats it has before everything. So essentially it just has energy shield and evasion, as well as cold and fizz flat damage. You'll be fine with physical, lightning, fire, all basically everything works. I'd say lightning is pretty premium, so I would definitely look for that, but just res on this as well. The 30% reduced attribute requirements is actually really good here because it's actually providing 24 to all attributes, which kind of just makes all of the attribute requirements way easier, as only like just a metric ton of attributes to use these skill gems. So like I'm pretty sure like, yeah, some of these doesn't look too bad at 75, but pretty sure like this staff needs like 104, and any deck specific things. Like this is a low level gem, but if we're going higher, this will definitely be like 120. So moving on to the passive tree, still running the same ascendancy points as yesterday. I wanted to get Way of the Mountain today, and I actually did Trial Master, or at least Trials of Chaos, several times to get all these fragments, and the door to Trial Master is bugged for me. Seems like other people are getting that bug too, so extremely annoying running through Trials multiple times. And we all know that trials aren't fun, especially early in the league when it's a little bit challenging. So hopefully that gets fixed soon, because I really don't want to do it that many more times. It's not fun to farm for me. at the very least. So yeah, we'll hopefully get that tomorrow, and I can highlight that whenever I get that in. See how it works. For the tree, kind of cleaned up the beginning area. Um, Pretty much just taking some damage nodes here, making sure that we have some days synergy. So there's actually a lot of days on a tree. You'll notice that I'll go over this in a second. Was kind of debating on that. Probably gonna pull out of there, but basically just investing in crit as well as days. We're getting a bunch of the classic ES evasion nodes here just for defensive layers. We are spending a ton of mana, so this is really good. I pathed up here to get more synergy with days. I believe my days synergy is, or my days percentage is at 95%, if I remember correctly. Yes, so 95%. So essentially enemies are almost constantly dazed and you're just getting extra damage. So we get cool damage and lightning damage. 12% is pretty good. Getting the basically quarterstaff crit nodes as well as damage nodes, getting a bunch of the attributes there. We're also getting more crit here. This little evasion defensive area is pretty amazing. You get a whole ton of stats. You also get access to Hollow Keeper, so there is a rune on the body piece that will do another 50% reduction of curses, so you can pretty much just not have to deal with curses anymore, which just make life so much easier. And reduction of non-damaging ailments is also pretty crazy, especially just stuff like slows. Maintaining the days synergies here, so not really too sure how much I like this, but I'm just leaving that there for now. Getting this is really good. This is for Tempest Spell. And then just some more days synergy over here. We're taking all the crit stuff here. And this is where I was thinking of going. I actually had a bunch of points invested here just to work towards this, but I'm starting to realize that unless I get armor break on Whirling Assault, which I might, there is that something smelting lineage support that applies extra armor break. If I go for that and get that on Whirling Assault, this might be worth it, but at the moment I'm rethinking that line of thought, and I'll probably invest that somewhere else. Realistically, like even just getting these points here is just a ton of attack damage, and I might just prefer that instead. So I'm just gonna actually put that there for now. This 1 point, I'll just chuck that there for now. But yeah, this is still a work in progress. I'm still testing everything, and I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm starting to go through a POB a lot more. I was initially building this a lot more intuitively, but now I'll be definitely number crunching a little bit more, and I'll probably be taking another look at all the available options and what kind of just synergizes with the build, since I'm trying to go for easy to play. So for the jewel sockets, oh shoot, I pulled it out. Keeping it pretty simple here. I got crit and area effect. Those were the two main lines on this one. And then for this socket over here, comes with a bunch of everything. So we get evasion, some more damage, attack speed, and slowing debuffs being reduced. Essentially, you just want to get more damage. So whether you get more attack damage, more global physical damage, crit damage, crit chance, or crit bonus is also very good. You can go for skill speed, attack speed, all perfectly fine. There's just a whole ton of things that you can go for. You can go for ES, you can go for evasion. Basically, a lot of lines work, so just trying to get a bunch of everything. I definitely have not invested very heavily into these jewels, so that is something I will be working on. For the charms, I'm just getting the classic freeze stun charms, and the last one's kind of just a flex slot. But with that, I guess this is my current Atlas tree. I'm just kind of picking random things, and you can't respec this, so I don't think this is optimal at all, but just very curious. So I'll just kind of throw it into a tier 15 map here, just to give a brief, kind of like a brief showcase of how it will be. I'm gonna just generally look for a more open map or a nicer looking map for this. Let's see if there's any decent ones. Yeah, let's go to Lofty Summit. I don't actually remember if this is great or not. So I'll make this tier 15. I will not be running this with a lot of mods because this build isn't finished yet, but we definitely can run tier 15s, and I'll throw the radiation on there just for fun. So I have done basically alked maps, but it's a little rough, and I'll definitely need to think a lot, and it's basically 4 a.m. for me, so not really in the right peak physical condition to be doing that. Especially, I was trying to get the Trial Master done for this video, and it's quite frustrating that the game is bugged. So pretty much same as yesterday, just on a higher map tier. Throw the bell down and just Whirling Assault. So you can see the damage is nothing super impressive. Over here, I think. Let's go for the GCPs. If we start getting these power charges, it will feel quite a bit better. So that's why I definitely want to get that line on the glove, which is Arcane Surge on critical hit. That is only a desecrated mod, so it has to be crafted, which means it's pretty elusive, and people selling it has specifically crafted for it, so it's going to be pretty expensive. This sphere is pretty tough. Okay, slimy as well. So yeah, at the moment, rares are not immediately getting cleaved through, unfortunately. If we do turn on the charge blade, this thing's called charge staff, you can definitely see a noticeable damage increase. Activate rune. I don't think I've ever done that before. What is this? Something circle thing? So as much as it would be really satisfying to immediately delete everything, definitely working on damage is the next step. So let's see, I can showcase it here with the charge staff. Everything pretty much gets deleted, so that's why I really want to focus on that charge generation. We can do the boss here. So essentially before the boss, you can just grab all of these. Oh, it's actually in the other direction. Stupid. No, it's here. Wait. There's a ritual in here. It's funny. So drop the bell here. 2 bells. So nothing crazy, but not too bad. And it helps definitely with the boss being stunned for the majority of it. Oh, what? Oh, the boss was in the ritual. That's funny. I don't think I've ever had that happen before. Wow, that was interesting. I don't think I've gotten anything good from Ritual yet. That looks kind of interesting, but they're all probably pretty garbage. I don't actually know why I bought that thing. But I think that's it for the mechanics, really. So yeah, I mean the mapping's pretty smooth. Nothing super fast, 5 minutes, but yeah, hopefully take some of the learnings I had here. Currently at level 86, and hopefully we'll be getting to low 90s tomorrow. So excited to see where I can take this. Definitely need to up the damage. That is 100% the next step. Survivability is survivable, but I think realistically, if we're just doing more damage, then we're gonna be taking so much less hits. So that'll be my focus for tomorrow. I've definitely upped the defenses significantly today. So yeah, in a pretty decent spot. I think I still get one shot by a bunch of things, but I think usually it will be just things with chaos in it. And currently leveling is still pretty easy, so yeah, not really too worried about dying a little bit here and there. So anyways, that'll be it for today. If this has been helpful, please subscribe or just leave comments if you have questions. I'm always in there, so happy to help. See you next time.